Hamid realizes he's in a bind. Charlie controls 5 of his men with his aura and threatens to kill them if they don't release one hostage. Hamid offers 4 for Charlie, 4 for himself. The hostages frantically plead, including a Chinese student who tearfully claims to have been born in China. Charlie refuses. "I only care about Melba for her father. You've disrespected me from the start." Hamid finally releases Melba, disarms the helicopter, and escorts her away. Knowing Charlie is from the Wade family, Hamid immediately respects him and befriends him. Dear viewers, please follow the increasingly suspenseful story.
Chapter 2671. Grass. Hamid's heart suddenly became cold when he heard this. After all, he has been leading the army for many years, and his judgment of the strategic situation is very accurate. At this moment, he has realized that he and Charlie each have half of their control initiative. In this cellar, the initiative is in the hands of this Chinese man, because he has a gun at me and bought my subordinates. He can kill me in this room at any time. However, I am not completely passive. After all, no matter how powerful he is, it is impossible to buy over 1 or 2,000 people from the entire base. Because, if he really had this capability, he would have overthrown me directly, so why bother to spend so much effort? How about sneaking into this cellar? Thinking of this, he immediately said to Charlie, "Friend, neither of us should be too impulsive. If you have anything, you can talk and discuss it. After all, I have been studying in China for many years and I see you are very kind." Charlie nodded and smiled. "It's easy if you want to talk. I just have one request. If you ask me to take people away, I won't make it difficult for you. Otherwise, I will kill you first." Saying this, Charlie must say seriously, "After I kill you, as long as I run faster, your men may not be able to react. After all, when I came in, your men didn't find me. Trust me, when I leave, they could not find out as well." As soon as Charlie said this, the opposite Hamid immediately became tense. He is not a fool. His own base of 1 or 2,000 defenses can still make this man come in quietly, and it was obvious that his defenses were not counted as F at RTS in front of the other party. At this time, Charlie continued, "When they find your body lying in this cellar, I might have already left Syria, but what about you? You can only lie down hard and accept the funeral prepared by your 1 or 2,000 men. Your status in the army is so high, and your funeral will be very grand by that time." Hamid's face immediately turned green. He quickly understood in his heart that he and Charlie were not as close as he had imagined. People like Charlie can take the initiative. If Charlie kills him first, he will be cold first. If he really annoyed him, he would go ahead and kill him, and then escape smoothly. Wouldn't he be a big loser? Thinking of this, Hamid's expression suddenly became very depressed. Let him let go, he is naturally unwilling 10,000 times. After all, he is still waiting to use these hostages to extort funds from the US Embassy. He has 2,000 soldiers under his hand, people fed by horses, and there is a huge funding gap. He is waiting to make a windfall to stabilize the team. If there are extra surpluses, he can buy a batch of new weapons from the arms dealers. Equip troops to improve their combat effectiveness. However, money is important, but he is also a commander after all, which is equivalent to a warlord and a native emperor. Even if the money cannot be made, he has this team. In the future, he will have more chances to make a fortune. Maybe the opposition will win the final victory. Can also mix with a senior official. Therefore, for him, the most important thing is to live safely. Otherwise, if he dies here, he will really lose everything. Because his life is more important, he doesn't dare to confront Charlie. After thinking about it, Hamid gritted his teeth, tried to make the final fight, and said, "Brother, it's not easy for you to come all the way, plus the 2 of us are predestined. I can't refuse your request, but you must also save me a little bit of face, and you can't let me come to the bamboo basket to fetch water in the end. Don't you have an old saying in China? Keep a thread in everything, so you can see each other in the future." Charlie smiled and said, "I have to say, what you said in Chinese literature is really not bad, and even the allegorical words can give me 2 sentences." Hamid embarrassedly smiled, and said, "The use one word to describe, whatever the outcome, I was also a school bully." Charlie nodded and asked him, "You said let me give you a bit to stay face, I don't know how you want to keep this face." Hamid waved his hand and said with a face full of quagmire, "Brother, this way. These 8 people, half of you and half of me, there is an old Chinese saying that is so far away as a guest, so I let you pick first. You pick 4 people at random and take them away. The remaining 4 are left to me." As soon as Hamid said this, all the 7 people besides him were crazy except for Melba. What the hell is this? What a ghost. Is this guy who came by the Concorde so fierce? The commander of the opposition came. Not only did he not kill him, but he also controlled him. What's more outrageous is that the 2 men are still talking about terms. What's even more outrageous is that this Hamid actually agreed. He asked Charlie to take 4 people away. Doesn't that mean that 4 people can be rescued directly by him? Since Melba is determined to occupy one place, there are 3 places left. Thinking of this, the boy of Chinese descent blurted out, "Mr. Wade, save me. We are compatriots. We are compatriots. You can help me if you say anything." Charlie waved his hand. "Hey, don't come with me. This set, what you said just now, don't you remember? I do treat you as a compatriot, even if you are holding a passport from another country, but what you have is the blood of our Chinese nation. You are my compatriot in the eyes." Speaking of this, Charlie said helplessly, "Look at what you said just now. You were born and raised in the United States, and your homeland is the United States. If you have said so, I can't rush to recognize you like me. Compatriots, isn't this forcing you to betray your motherland?" The other party cried out and choked up, "Mr. Wade, I was wrong. Actually, I was not born in the United States, I was born in China, but later my parents migrated, took me to the United States and I became a citizen there. The reason why I always declare that I was born in the United States is that I don't want to be looked down upon by Americans. I want them to know that although I am not an American face, I am the American-born and authentic American." Said this, he cried bitterly, "Actually, I am a foreigner. I am now aware of the mistake. I know what is still flowing in my bones." Charlie blurted out and interrupted, "It's okay, don't say anything, I understand what you mean." When the other party heard this, he felt as if he had hope of survival. He immediately cried and said, "Mr. Wade, thank you so much. From now on, I will be a cow and a horse, and I will repay you well." A white American boy also hurriedly said, "Mr. Wade, I apologize to you for my recklessness and impoliteness. Please take me with you." The Indian boy also cried. He said, "Yep, blame me for my senselessness, in fact, I particularly admire you, such a lone hero. I ask you to forget my rudeness before, give me a chance." Others, as seeing that they were all pleading, also hurriedly started crying. Charlie smiled at this time, turned to look at Hamid, and said seriously, "Commander Hamid." Hamid said quickly, "Brother, when you meet, you are destined, and when you are destined, you are friends. Don't call the commander like that. By the way, in addition, my brother said to him, my last name is Hamid, these 3 words are connected, if you can do not open it, try not to open it." After speaking, he hurriedly added with a smile one sentence, "Of course, if you think it's too tiring to say 3 words, just treat it as if I didn't say anything." Seeing Hamid's aggrieved look, Charlie couldn't help but smile. Since Commander Hamid has spoken, I'll connect these 3 words later. Hamid hugged Charlie. Then he pointed to the 8 people on the opposite side and said generously, "Brother, just pick it." After finishing speaking, he was afraid that Charlie would not be willing to borrow the donkey from the slope. He gritted his teeth and blurted out, "This way, my brother, I will give another step. You choose 5. The desire of the 7 to survive in an instant increased. Charlie looked at Hamid, smiled, and praised, "Commander Hamid is really interesting. Just at this point, you can see you should be a person of integrity and commitment." Quote, Hamid nodded seriously and said, "I am the person with most credit, whether it is trade and commerce, or the troops in war, we must honor the commitment that let you take 5, would not have vague." Charlie at this time, he waved his hand, "I am also the most ethical person. I have always believed that you respect me a foot and I respect you more. Therefore, among the 8 people, I only need Miss Watt and the rest. Leave them to you." The other 7 people burst into tears when they heard this. The young people of Chinese descent cried and said, "Mr. Wade, everyone is a compatriot, you can't get me into injustice. All the other people also cried together, begging for mercy and begging constantly for rescue and help. At this time, Melba also couldn't see it. She pleaded, "Mr. Wade, they are indeed frogs at the bottom of the well. They have eyes but don't know the world. I hope you don't keep a grudge. Please try to save as many people as possible. Take them all away." Charlie said indifferently, "Melba, things are not handled like this. I am here to save you completely for the sake of your dad. You asked me to save them. Who do you want me to save?" Melba was ashamed, but for the safety of friends, she still gritted her teeth and said, "Mr. Wade, please give me a face. I know this request is very abrupt, inappropriate, and self-defeating, but I still ask you to look at my face. Save them once." Charlie shook his head and firmly refused. "I don't give you this face because from beginning to end, these friends have never given me face at all. I am a person who has never admired foreigners or locals, those who don't care about me. Is it an American or a Martian? As long as he doesn't give me face, I won't give him face." After speaking, he looked at Hamid, pointed at Melba, and said seriously, "I will only take her away." Grass, interesting. Hamid stomped and blurted, "In this case, then I won't be too nonsense. Now I will tell your men, you two can leave at will, no one can stop." After finishing, Hamid flashed aside, let out the door, and said, "Brother, please." Charlie waved his hand, "No, it's not my villain's heart. After all, this is your site. I have to be more cautious." The helicopter parked directly in the yard. The helicopter must not carry any ammunition. In addition, all people except the pilot must be evacuated. Then you will accompany the two of us personally. When the person picks me up, I will let you go. What do you think? Hamid looked embarrassed and said, "What if you change your mind when you get there? What if you kidnap me? Now the government is offering a reward of several $1,000,000 for my head. How do I know if you get greedy? Do you see me greedy?" Charlie smiled helplessly, pointed to his face, and asked him with a smile, "You said that I might get greedy. I came here FC King sitting on a Concorde airliner with more than hundreds of millions of dollars, within a few hours, all the way from China to the place where you don't. Shit, will I make money for the multi-million-dollar reward on your head?" Hamid swallowed his saliva and blurted out, "Concorde. You are from the Wade family of China." Charlie asked curiously, "What? Commander Hamid has also heard of the Wade family." Hamid immediately said with a look of admiration, "I have heard of it too much. I was in the university where I was studying in Eastcliff. Ah, the Wade family and the Su family are both top families in China, and I heard about it at that time." After speaking, Hamid flatly asked, "My brother, I don't know if I'm right." Charlie didn't hide it, nodded and said, "Yes, I am the Wade family member." When this was said, the other 7 people were almost all frightened. They are all high-achieving students in the financial field. They have a deep understanding of the economic conditions of various countries, and naturally, they also know China, the strength of these wealthy families. As soon as they heard that Charlie was a descendant of the Wade family, they immediately understood why Charlie could travel to Syria on the Concorde in such a short time. This is the Wade family. What a pity. It's a pity that these so-called high-achieving students will be blindfolded and not see the treasure. Hamid on the side immediately gave a thumbs up and blurted out, "I didn't expect that my brother is really from the Wade family. Like the Wade family, man, you can still break in here alone. It is really admirable." Charlie smiled slightly. "Commander Hamid is too polite." Hamid couldn't help but said excitedly, "I didn't expect it today. It's fate to be able to get acquainted with the descendants of the Wade family." After that, he looked at Charlie and said sincerely, "Brother, there is an old saying in China that you don't get acquainted with each other. If you use it on you and me, it would be appropriate. If you don't dislike it, from now on, you and I will be friends." Charlie nodded and said seriously, "Since my brother said so, we will be friends from now on." Hamid laughed and blurted out, "Brother, I know that you came to rescue this lady so far. If you want to come, she must be very important to you, then I won't be here to waste time with you. You and I will keep in touch with each other, and then I personally take you away by helicopter according to your request. If you have the opportunity in the future, you will come to Syria as a guest again. Then I will treat you well." Seeing that he is indeed sincere, Charlie said without hesitation, "No problem. If my brother comes to China in the future, he will contact me as soon as possible, and he will be given the best hospitality." As he said, the boy of Chinese origin cried and said, "Master, you are a $1 trillion family man. Do not keep a grudge on us and leave us behind. My family took pains to brought me up, and it was not easy. Give me a chance to save my life, and I kowtow to you." When he finished, in spite of his hands still being tied up behind him, he was struggling desperately to kneel and kowtow. Charlie said with an indifferent expression at this time, "Okay, no need to act here, no matter what you say, I will not take you away." After saying this, he looked at Melba and said lightly, "Miss Watt, let's go." When the Chinese boy heard this, he looked at Melba savagely, and blurted out, "Melba, I came here just for you. Do you have the heart to leave me here alone? Do you still have the slightest humanity?" The other two girls also choked and said, "Melba, everyone is a good friend, how can you leave us at this time? If you leave us, we're dead." Indian boys also cried and said, "Melba, I don't want to die. My parents saved a lifetime of money for me to finish studying. I can't just die here." Melba silently in this place suddenly burst into tears, and she looked at Charlie with extremely pitiful eyes, and her beautiful eyes were full of pleading. Charlie said coldly at this time, "Don't worry, the Marines will come to rescue you." After finishing speaking, he looked at Melba and reminded loudly, "It's time to go, Miss Watt." Hearing this, Melba was at a loss. She could see that Charlie was not joking. So she didn't know what she should do if Charlie really didn't want to take away her companions. She did not expect that her group of friends would be so anti-intellectual. They had already offended Charlie to death before he revealed their identity. Now no matter how they plead with Charlie, it is reasonable for Charlie not to save them. Although she wanted to leave and go to Oris Hill to reunite with her father, she really couldn't bear to leave so many friends behind and escape alone. At a certain moment, Melba even thought about not leaving, and just staying to live or die with these friends, so that even if facing the worst result, she can have a clear conscience. Otherwise, if she was left alone and 7 of them died here, then she would not be able to get rid of the guilt deep in her heart in this life. Charlie didn't expect that these anti-intellectual talents with high academic qualifications are now desperately trying to get Melba into the water. They used all kinds of methods to repeatedly stimulate Melba's psychological defense by insulting, reprimanding, begging, or selling miserably, with only 2 purposes: either let Melba take them together or let her stay too and die with them. Charlie couldn't help looking at her. Seeing that her expression was very tangled, she even had some signs of a strong man breaking her wrist, and he immediately said inwardly that it was not good. Young people are most likely to have the so-called loyalty and affection. A condemned prisoner who was unwilling to betray his friend for the so-called friend's death felt that he was out of loyalty when he died, but he did not know that the other party only regarded him as a scapegoat. Therefore, Charlie didn't give Melba a chance to react. He opened the door and said to Faisal outside, "Come and take Miss Watt out." Yes. Faisal, who had just brought 4 other people under the control of Hamid's 2 guards, agreed without hesitation, and immediately walked to Melba, and said coldly, "Miss Watt, please come with me." Melba was still a little vacillating, but when Charlie asked Faisal to take her out forcibly, she immediately aroused her sense of resistance. She almost immediately blurted out, "I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm going to stay. Stay with my friends." As soon as Melba said this, the expressions of the other 7 people instantly eased a little, and some even showed a hint of excitement unintentionally. Charlie had a panoramic view of the performance of these people and had no hope for the humanity and character of these people. At a critical juncture, I don't have the opportunity to escape, I don't want my companions to escape, and I want them to stay and die with me. This is the dirtiest aspect of human nature. So, Charlie immediately ordered Faisal and said, "Blocked her mouth, take her out." Melba hearing this, the mood got more excited, and shouted, "Do not touch me, I do not go to the finish." She looked at Charlie and shouted, "Mr. Wade, please tell my dad that I can't honor his wish, let him not blame me. I am in Syria with my friends, if I leave alone, I will never forgive myself in my life." Charlie frowned and looked at her, and asked, "Your brain is also infected by these 7 stupid birds?" "I didn't," Melba said loudly, "I have been deliberated. I am willing to bear all the consequences, and I will never regret it." Charlie's head is big, pointing at her, and sternly shouted, "You shut up. Before I came, your life was owned by you and it was okay, but since I'm here, you can only live. Even if you want to die, I won't let you die. Melba asked, why? I have the right to choose not to let you take me away. Charlie pointed to Hamid and asked, why didn't you say this to him when they kidnapped you? Melba's suddenly questioned person was speechless and hesitated. Charlie said coldly, don't you, I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you, today you have to go, even if you don't, you have to go, if really want to die here. After I return to China and Oris Hill, you can come back again after I hand you over to your father safely. At that time, whether you want to die or alive has nothing to do with me. Melba subconsciously said, but I don't want to go back. Charlie coldly snorted, you don't want to. You don't want too much, you don't want to go, I want to take you away. After that, he told Faisal, shut her mouth, I don't want to listen to her now. Faisal immediately picked up the headgear Melba wore before from the ground, twisted it into a cylindrical shape in the palm of his hand, and stuffed it directly in Melba's mouth. Melba was gagged at once, and couldn't say a word right away. She could only hum desperately while staring at Charlie with teary eyes. Charlie didn't look at her, and directly waved to Faisal, take her out. Faisal immediately took Melba to the room outside. The 7 people in the room saw Melba being taken away, and their faces reappeared with anger and unwillingness. Charlie looked at them and said blankly, no matter how long you 7 can live, I hope you remember the words, the right path in the world is the vicissitudes of life. Like you, narrow-minded and short-sighted, courageous rats, even it doesn't make any sense to read more books. People like yours, no matter how much gold is plated, can't hide the stench on your body. After all, he looked at Hamid and said, Commander Hamid, take your hard work and send us away. Without saying anything, Hamid immediately made a gesture of asking, and said, brother, please. Charlie nodded and went out of the room with Hamid, and then the iron door was locked again. No matter how the 7 people wailed, Charlie didn't have any pity in his heart. Afterward, Hamid also obeyed the agreement and used the walkie-talkie to issue orders to his men to unload all the ammunition of one of the armed helicopters. Then he evacuated all the guards in the yard above his head, and then let his most trusted pilot fly the helicopter to land in the yard. After all this, Hamid said to Charlie, brother, the plane is ready and okay, let's go up now. Quote, Charlie nodded and said to Faisal, you guys continue to stay here. All people said without hesitation, yes. Charlie pulled Melba, whose hands tied behind her, and said to Hamid, the 3 of us will go up. Melba was speechless and could only cry. Hamid took the initiative to take out his gun and threw it on the ground, and said to Charlie, brother, let me go ahead. You have a gun in your hand and my legs. There is a disability again, you don't have to worry that I will run away. Charlie admired Hamid's character more a bit, nodded slightly, and said, brother please.